be 3 or higher. If it's lower than 3, I've done something wrong, right? Because they started out with an interest. So you see our numbers 3.4, and then interest in working in the area 3.2. Whether they work in construction management, I don't think is the key factor. If they're designers, they're working on engineering teams, what they learned here in construction management is going to help them, going to make them better team members. So that was positive outcome. So at the beginning of the semester, 15 students said yes, 9 indicated maybe. If there were more classes, if there was a minor construction management, they'd be really open to that. And my guess is if U of A was known for having more technical electives, we'd probably attract even more students, and those numbers would go up even higher. Some of the student employment, so during the semester, there was a couple students interning for Ashton. Actually, I announced the internship in class, and people interviewed for it, and 2 of the students were selected for that. Intern at Borderland. K&G, there's a couple students working part-time, probably is going to lead into full-time as they finish up the semester here. Full-time offer at Whiting Turner, major contractor in the U.S. So students are finding employment in construction. Just some quotes from the feedback here. I enjoy the material being taught and the guest speakers. Yeah, it was really great to have these professionals come in and share. Going and touring sites, opportunity to pick the superintendent's brains. Every superintendent, construction manager, just so willing to give their time. These guys and gals are really busy. They're working overtime, but they took a couple hours out of their Fridays to be with our students, to share, and they just were gracious hosts, and really appreciate the community for sharing like that with us. Site visits useful, how it operates. I enjoyed the class, hope to work in construction. Okay. Your present circumstances don't determine where you go, but they merely determine where you will start. Okay, so where are we? At U of A, CEM, where are we? And we're a department with a long history, right? We've got strong, committed faculty. Even Dean Goldberg mentioned the culture in a lot of the engineering departments on campus isn't strong, but in our department, yeah, there's a strong culture there. That's a strength. That's our starting point. We've got a good core electives, but where do we want to go? Do we see our future with trying to introduce more construction management? Do we feel like that's going to be serving our community and our students well? As Kevin's showing us the numbers, where our students going to get hired, we're seeing our future that more and more of our students are going to get hired in construction management. So how can we better prepare now to get to that future that we see? So here's some suggestions of things we can consider. Obviously, we can expand on our initial offering. So we offered one class, introductory class, but you can take any of those subtopics and pull them out, right, and make a core set of courses, and these are some suggestions of what that might look like. Beyond that, construction internships. This is already going on. Students are finding this, and our local contractors are doing this. But is there something we can do to maybe formalize this and enhance this and help both contractors and students find good matches? A third effort would be, Kevin said, our curriculum's pretty full. It's hard for students to fit more in. So you talk about a 3-hour class, it's a pretty big commitment. But are there 1-hour credit hour opportunities? Can we set up some 1-credit courses that might study real specific targeted things like case studies in construction law, or formalize a construction internship where students are actually getting school credit for it, and set it up like teachers or social workers do with their internship, where they come back, meet with fellow students, meet with the faculty, debrief on what they're experiencing during the week, during their work week, or a seminar series. you could pick a topic for the semester and invite in some speakers to do that. We've got Ramon from Tuca here. We could dedicate a semester to utility contractors and have our gas and our water and our cable people come in every month and give great exposure to some select topic. And over 4 semesters, what does that do? Gives a real big breadth of experience to our students from hearing from a lot of people. And this is something that, you know, takes some leadership to figure out how to organize this, but I sense that in the community, construction and engineering community, there'd be a lot of willingness to help out and come in and share. Some other opportunities. So there's organizations like ASC that have student competitions and conferences in construction management. So in that syllabus handout, that's the last page here. And schools with established construction management programs often have student clubs that focus on this, similar to our ASCE student chapter, going and competing in bridges and canoe contests. Well, compete just like we did at Granite. They put together bid proposals, they give presentations on construction projects, they schedule projects, and they compete in this. And they, as a club, they prepare all semester for this. And there's a number of people in the contracting community, whether it's from KE&G or from Granite or other places, that their employees have been at schools that have done this kind of thing, that could be club sponsors for us to help prepare our students. But it takes a little bit of organization for someone to set that up, to make that a school activity. So that's another option. There is something through ASCE, and that's the first page, that ASCE Days deal that you see right here. And that's coming up this summer. And it doesn't take a whole team, but they ask for students to sign up in pairs. So this would be great if a couple students from the fall signed up for this, and they would get a great experience going to the San Diego Zoo where it's hosted. They'd be put together on teams with other college students and have opportunity to interact with professionals at that conference, but also to work through construction management items like scheduling, estimating, and presentations, all related to construction management. So these are a lot of other things besides, you know, an introductory course that we could offer. So that kind of gives you an overview, a quickie. One of our breakout sessions is going to be to talk about construction management, and so to hear more about your ideas. But Nathan, I don't know where we're at time. I know we were running a little bit behind, so I tried to zip through this for you.
We are a little bit behind, but you gave a lot of great information.
Yeah.
For that, we can probably answer some questions if people have them, and then we'll take a short 5-minute break. Come back, we'll break out into the 3 sessions and spend about 40 minutes or so in those groups, and then we'll reconvene and establish some action items and people that are going to be accountable.
Yeah.
If there are any questions for Dean right now, then feel free to ask.
Yeah, Tom.
Maybe some feedback from the contractors and Ramon as to maybe what sort of enthusiasm there might be, if any, for expanding the program, among our local contracting communities.
Personally, I think it'd be great. This, you call it a construction management class, but like you said, it cuts across everything that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Especially just from the design side, the things we see, the amount of time that designers don't spend in the field is an impact to us and the owners as a general. I'm sure you see it too, Dave. The things that little time in the field would be a lot more helpful, or these little pieces that they've gleaned from this would be huge in the future. So anything else we can do like this is great.
Yeah, I was a big proponent of helping get the things started. I also think, now that if you can take the PE exam in construction, I think we're going to be behind the curve I believe that ASU is in the process of setting up an accredited program for construction engineering, and I think they're well ahead of us, to be honest with you.
Oh, they're.
But I think, I don't know that we gotta go to that, we can't go from A to Z overnight, but I think we're missing the boat if we don't try and get a little more programs,
At least a minor established.
something.
They had construction school, but not construction engineering, that's what they've shifted to, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, we're, being in Tucson, we're heavily involved in that too, and obviously my allegiance is here, so I'd like to
Yeah.
see us.
Historically, we've gone as far as North Dakota to find CM, CE, CME people, because that's where they're building, is other places, so.
And we've been having this discussion on AIC for 5 years. I mean, obviously, the market demand is there. Your profession and your market is generating the demand for these students, and if we're looking into the future, we have to provide the students necessary to meet your demand in your industry. Otherwise, we are going to lose out.
I mean, I think from a construction standpoint, like I've always said at Sun, we actually probably prefer to hire engineers over construction managers, but this is just one more avenue that gets them a little bit, you know. puts them
Prepares them a
ahead.
little bit more before you get.
Shows a little more of an interest, gets them a little more on board from, starting, but most of our senior management is civil engineering based, and we still hire a ton of construction managers, but maybe that's a biased opinion, but
I can tell you that when I went through the program here, I knew that I wanted to go into construction and I wanted to go to school in Tucson, so civil engineering was it. And when I left and went to work at Granite, I was oblivious to a lot of this stuff on the syllabus. And had I taken this class, it would have really helped me a lot to get my feet on the ground
Yeah.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
yeah, I remember when I was going to school here, I kept seeing in the catalog and saying, well, is this class offered? Oh, no, we haven't offered that class in forever. And I'm like, well, what, so I jumped on the opportunity to help get this started.
I think for the industries, the preparation is probably key. I think the internships that could be offered through the different companies is going to help with that. We always talk about skilled labor and finding skilled folks, and I think this is an avenue to prepare students to take that next step. So I think it's important that our industry supports that here locally. And I know we're trying to, I know through Tuke and our members like Chris and other folks at the table, we're trying to do that. So, speaking from a global industry perspective, I think this is important to continue.
Yeah.
Plus, you're battling with other schools, like, I did not go to U, but the school I went to, the CE program has, or civil program there, it is scheduled estimating. All those are part of the program, in addition to other design elements and things. And it's definitely a little bit more holistic view of the program instead of just the design side of it.
I agree with that, because I think, a lot of times when we emphasize design so much, it's like the old woodworking class. When you take woodworking, it's like, well, you had to do your drawing, and then you had to make what you draw. It's like we emphasize the design and all the analytical part of it, but not what the critical thinking that construction gets you, that pragmatic approach.
Okay, great. Well, if there's any more comments or anything like that regarding the construction management course, we can handle that in a breakout session right now.
Yeah.
Thanks for teaching the class. We certainly
We can